So the reason for this call is there's quite a few. I just want to first of all explain the diagram. So what's happened is that uh, I've been dreaming about making up, building a community and this vision to, live like everybody wants in nature with abundance of everything with thriving kids, thriving families, like it's the same thing we all want. Um, Let me record this. If you guys don't mind. If you do, you can just switch off your camera. Anyway, so we all want to live on the land, and for some reason, it's just not happening. Or when people get to the land, just shit hits the fan, and people can't figure out, so I have a slight reverb of sound, so I wanna, and I can't switch it off because my camera needs to be explaining. I'm just gonna quickly explain this diagram, how we're gonna launch this eco community, KD eco communities. Um, so there's sixfold that this is on the land, okay? Let me pin it. So this green one is on the land. There's this northern location in Siberia where I'm going. I'm landing next to in the village of City of Dawn. It's and one of the oldest eco villages. I can't even call it eco village. I don't know what it is. It's 5,000 people living in a series of like five, six, seven villages spread out by 1 or 2 miles and the most pristine nature, and they're growing all their own food and they're teaching their children. They moved away from money. They tried, and obviously they still have some problems and issues, but the bottom line is that they've done it for 30 years, and it's one takes the hat off. The reason I want to land there is multifold. First of all, I'm going there for the seventh time. I'm actually going to buy the land next week. Um, and there is about 1,500 master craftsmen. So, I want to launch the Ayurveda Academy for the children and adults. But like, if we just land somewhere in the middle of nowhere, then like it's 2 hours to travel to like a clay guy, an hour to a glass maker, 2 hours to a violinist, 2 hours to I don't know, a symphonic orchestra and somebody that can teach our kids to play music. You know what I mean? You can't just land somewhere. I mean, that's what they try. And it's too much driving everywhere. I mean, even if you just land in the city, it's so much driving everywhere to get your kids to those extra lessons and extra activities that you want for for development. So there, everything is available. 15 minutes walk, like 1,500 master craftsmen at 15-minute walk or bicycle ride. Super safe. I mean, if you just look at my Telegram stories, you'll see kids on the streets where the cars can drive, a little 3-year-old pulling a goat and walking a goat. It's like, it's another world. And so I'm going to explain the diagram and then I can switch off this phone so I don't have the reverb of sound. For some reason, I can't use my camera as my phone anymore of in Zoom. Uh, yeah, it's a 15-minute City of Dawn, but it's like one story, the 15-minute cities, they're usually multi-story, so everything is close. And here's one story, everything, 1 or 2 stories. Anyway, so this is the northern location in Siberia, and I'll explain the academy. This is the south one. The south one could be in the south of Russia. There will be one in the south of Russia, but also I'm feeling one overseas, somewhere like Mexico or South America or somewhere close to America that can be very easy to accessible, like super low cost, easy, fast to access from America. We could then go into Europe and other locations, but for now, I'm just starting with one place. We've got to start somewhere because if we dream of a million things and we don't get anything done, it's like, you know what I mean? We've got to be in the present at the same time. And I'll talk a little bit about it. So South North, this is like an academy on the land. This is the first community that's going to be built. We're prototyping. We're testing out relationships. We're testing each other, and this is things to compare is Mike Reynolds' Earthship Academy in Taos, New Mexico. Cal Earth Academy in Hesperia, California. Arco Santi in Arizona. Google it if you don't know it. Mixed with Lloyd Kahn's Arizona, his School of Architecture. So this is more like bioarchitecture, biomimicry, expanded to nature to technologies. Victor Schauberger, and I've got a whole 7 modules that we're going to be teaching: natural geometry, um, bioarchitecture, and I'll go into depth into them today or later. Bioarchitecture, obviously some sculpture, so sculpture and arts like marbleizing, kinetic sculptures, anything that moves, makes electricity, or something that's really, really helpful, not just a weird thing, like a Google Earthship Dynasphere. You'll see this amazing wind turbine. By the way, he gave me a set of drawings for it in 2011 in a private consult, Mike Reynolds. So with his permission, we'll be making those. And anyway, so third one is sculpture. I think third or fourth. Then um, nature's technologies, as I explained, then permaculture and everything to do with that happens outside, vertical gardens, anything that's green. Uh, the sixth one, I'll go into it later. So there's a whole thing. It's like an academy where we're going to teach. Yeah, this yellow one is at the festivals. Okay, the builds are 1 to 3 scale, meaning a 6 meter dome will be like a 2.5 meter dome. Let's call it a 8 foot diameter, maybe 9 foot high, something very super fast and buildable. And those acre domes, they have those big bay window. Now imagine another little arch. We're doing this with kids that can be connected to it. So an 8 foot dome with an 8 foot arch, and one can slot into each other, and you have this nice bigger structure that then can be so father and son, or even a mom and son. I had a mom come to St. Petersburg and build with her 2 kids from Switzerland, and they loved it. They loved it, and I mean, I could even pull a picture just to show you. Anyway, um, the bottom line is that it's for parents and kids. Originally, I thought it should be just for kids and parents can do their own thing and be left alone and do their computer work or whatever they want to do. And I'm like, no, it's got to be together because first of all, it's the bonding of father and son. It's the bonding of mother and daughter or son. It's the bonding of families because it's so ruptured. And I myself, in a strange relationship with my own son. I haven't spoken to 5 years, so I'm doing a lot of inner work to heal that. And amazingly enough, 2 weeks ago, I finally got into my connected with my first wife, the mother of my son, and we had a 1.5 hour conversation, and we reconnected, thankfully, because it's the first door to my son is um, through through his mom. Anyway, so I guess from that pain comes the healing. So, yes, it's not my pain anymore, but it's something I want to heal. So I want to heal that not just for myself and heal it for many others, or at least be part of the healing process. I can't take responsibility for this. Anyway, this is at the festivals. Festivals are very important because it's like thousands of people come and we can do cool builds at the festivals. Yeah. And it's obviously all linked. And this is city spots. So this is like, if you've seen in my videos, a three, let me show you the academy building. Here, have a look at this picture. Okay, so this is two Arco Science vaults, quite big ones. They're about 16 meters wide, so 8 meters high. Uh, are you aware of Arco Science here? So I don't need to show you pictures, but I can show you just now. It's a greenhouse like Eden project with pillow dome, and it's a trapezoid vaults that can be built on removable formwork, making them super, super easy to build and low cost. So we're not talking about millions. Like this is the roof I made in Siberia for what's $800. So we're not talking about expensive, it's about the same size. So that's a human, two humans that just made a replica. So this is more like a papa land, papa, fathers and garage, and like things that we can do with kids. And this is mama land. And in the middle is another dome. It's not shown here. Um, Yeah, I'm just accepting people. Anyway, so this is these city spots are very important because they allow us to have a connection to the cities and everybody's in the cities. We don't want to disconnect. We don't want to say the cities are evil. We want to be part of the whole thing. And plus, it's going to be sending us a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of connections here. Here's all the colors and connections between, like even that one on the festival. The festivals will bring. This is our cities. These are our new communities that we can, we'll be building. So we got to start with the youth because right now we're just not ready to build our cities or communities. People are just not ready. We're gonna get into a state of creator mode, which I'll share just now about. Anyway, the city spots I spoke about, these are lectures in universities and laboratories in the universities. So this is where a university which can pay for a very expensive printer like a Kuka arm for the beginning stages, we can't, for example, afford that until we're going. We can use labs in universities by training them bionic permaculture and bionic biophilic architecture, bioarchitecture. We can use their printer, and it's no longer just me and like Keegan, for example, developing structures. It's hundreds of students can be involved in co-creating this. So this is a wholesome system. Um, uh, this is these are this purple one is the builds over.
Держава наша! Наша! Наша!
Who was that? Toby.
Держава наша! Наша!
Um, yeah, it's
Держава наша! Получи, слащавый педик. Повезло, повезло.
okay. I'm gonna relaunch this video. Just hang on. Wow, it's hackers. Did you see that?
Was it like switching between the different accounts?
Yeah, it logged in as
Weird.
somebody else, and then it made itself Toby, and then I could, and then his name jumps around on the right, so I couldn't even hit him.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
sorry about that. That's not me.
I know, I know. Anyway, where we're so this is international builds. Although I'm still in two minds where there's going to be a one location. Like for example, Lena, let's say Lena wants to build on her land, and she just invites us to build with the children, or or her kids, or maybe it's not even a kids thing. This is actually a full scale build. This is more one to one, not one to three. At festivals, you remember it's one to three scale, three times smaller. This is one to one. But this is where, like, let's say Lena, who wants to start a community on her land, she's got like many hectares, and she wants a whole thing, like, just to kickstart so we can train her construction team. The role of this is to train construction teams. So let's say she's got a few friends, and we come there and we train her up with method of construction. Anyway, and this is a full cluster. This is a full first city. This is the communities that I'm planning. They're built around the theme. So the theme that we chose for the first community is obviously bioarchitecture because it's part of my vibe, okay? But like Lena or Ambrose or Keegan can start any other communities, let's say, based on their theme in the future. I'm just giving an example. So here we have invite architects, we invite engineers, we invite biologists, permaculturists, coders of 3D printers, anything to do, structural engineers, you know what I mean? So we can be all part of this whole thing to produce a product. Very important to produce a product that can actually be exported and made financial wealth doing what we love. Okay. Because, yeah, so I'm just going to switch it off so I could log out so I don't hear my phone. Okay. So the reason for this call is, first of all, to connect with you. I'd like to share with you about this Siberia a little bit. It's a really, really nice piece of land. I'd actually like to hear from you. What's your request? What is your biggest, like, what is your need? It's not like a marketing research of like what's the pain, but like where you at and what do you feel that it's going to take to not even to build this community, but what is your like maybe you have worries kids that are sitting too much in the phones. You know what I mean? We obviously want to link it somehow to the academy, and the academy, the role is to bring up kids within the bioarchitecture, natural biomimicry, permaculture, sustainability mindset with a bit of IT, Photoshop, video editing, a bit of AI, and whatever, like one or two other things that we will teach them. By the way, the sixth one was IT. And the seventh one was the create consciousness. Um, so I want to hear from you, like, what, what is your need actually? What is your need at the moment? I know it's only five of us here, but like, where you at and what's bothering you? I know you obviously here, possibly you resonate with me, but like, yeah, what is your wish? Like, what is your, because the wish is the antimatter, so, which creates matter. So like, what is it? So just switch on your microphones and let's hear it. Lena,
Wow.
yeah, you want to go? Or Keegan?
Hey,
Keegan,
oh,
yeah,
who's
go
going
for it.
first?
Yeah, go for it, Lena.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I've been following you since I think pre-COVID actually. Um, really into sustainability, permaculture, but also I'm a practitioner. So I'm a craniosacral therapist, breath work, trauma work, and there's a lot of resonance with the vision of the world that my partner and I and many people want to move into as you've shared. we were living for 3 years in a warehouse that we made into a community. It was our home, and we were running events and seeing clients. So we live in London, and that proved to be unsustainable. You know, one needs nature. We have a yearning for the wild. And so where we're at is we're quite keen on learning the skills that are needed to build you know, this kind of architecture, and because you also weave in the Vastu principles, I think that's really exciting, bringing the two worlds of the metaphysical and the natural together. That's really exciting. And also just to be a part of the community. We don't have a piece of land just as yet, but we're also drawn to South America and potentially South Africa because Max's family, there's a South African connection, but we're not so sure about the legalities and things. Um, yeah, I guess that's like a that's a brief introduction as to where we're at.
So
And
you're basically investigating a community, and you're checking out where you could land, and you're obviously very careful in your choice because you've seen that 95% of it fails.
yeah, and it's important to have community and the right kind of people drawn together because otherwise it's just not sustainable, not feasible. So not just in terms of the architecture, but also like the governance of how things are going to move forward. It's a very delicate balance that, yeah, that needs to come together. I I
Let's
think
talk a
you,
little bit about this balance just now, but yeah, it's a very important point. I'll write it down. We can speak about this balance, but I'll just give you a little tip that we gotta get into the creator mode. And it's like, it sounds like a cheesy phrase, but it's everything. Behind this phrase, let me tell you. One, the wish is the antimatter that creates matter. Two, there is no objective reality. That's a huge thing behind it. What I just said, it flips everything inside out. Number three, nobody can hurt each other. So if you have shit in you, I'll absolutely say something to try and pull it out of you because that's how people work, because we're actually one spirit split into bodies. So your wish and your fears, which are also wishes, attract somebody to say something or attract. So the preppers are creating their apocalypse. The preppers believing in apocalypse created.
yeah.
It's and we can go on and on, not on and on. There is a list, and I've uploaded a book that on the yeah. Let me just I'll send a link to this channel, and it's everything's like organized there, and the book and theory. So it's the last post in there. It's 110 pages, but it's here. I'm putting it in chat. Um, okay, why is the chat not working? Okay, here we go. It's a Telegram. So t.me Bioveda. Bio_Veda. Why is this book so important? It really explains this belief that I've adopted 1.5 years ago. Why I know it works and it's the key. When I've stopped depression 1.5 years ago, I stopped panic attacks 1.5 years ago. I am praying a few times a day. I start my morning with a prayer. We basically need God because quantum physics, okay, wave, particle, we can, based on an observer, we can quantum collapse the wave into a particle. You know the experiment, yeah?
Yeah.
Now imagine what I'm just going to say to you. If you are in a good blissful state, you feel good here from prayer, yoga, you're just feeling this amazing blissful state. You as an observer, quantum collapse waves into high quality particles. meaning not just whatever random particles, but really like high quality people, high quality experiences. Money just appears. You create in the moment, like here's an example. For 6, 7 days, I'm launching with Mike Adams now my 3D design course. And I decided to actually give all my courses away so I can open up for this new academy and this bioarchitecture community that I want to launch. So I just decided, stuff it. The courses are not selling at the moment like they should be, and I'm just going to give it its all. So anyway, whilst I'm doing preparing the 7 emails for the launch, I thought, let me test it out on, send the same emails on my thing. I sent 7 emails, 7 days in a row, explaining through various parts of the 3D design course. Not one sale. That's like 1.5 to 1,000 people on Telegram, 2,000 on email, and I did, anyway, not one. So I'm like today thinking, clearly they don't want it. So I send an email today saying, what if I teach your kids design skills and biomimicry and bioarchitecture in a fun, playful way? And I just send it out today. That's what I mean creating in the moment. And asking the spirit inside your highest potential. Okay. Why do we need God? We need God for 2 reasons for the very minimal. One, to change those beliefs that freaking so hard to change from childhood and I don't know, past lives, I don't know if, but childhood at least, like when mom was not there, and when I get sick, mom was here with jam and stories, and so I'm 37. That's in the kids, yeah. When I was a kid, at 37, I break a leg, so mom considered was me at the hospital. You know what I mean? And if you don't work through that, you know what I'm saying. It just you take it to the grave. Well, not you, but a person takes it to grave. So we try and fix them with psychologies and. It's just got to a dead end. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't fix those things with psychologists. So anyway, so we need God. We create God because remember, there's no objective reality. So we create God the way we want God to be, a brother, and Anyway, I don't want to go too much into God, but there's two. The second reason is that for when we love God, that unseen spirit, you can't see it, but when you send this love to it, you learn to love yourself, as strange as it sounds, and just trust me on it. How do I know it works? Wiggle my bum most mornings, dancing, jamming, nobody's watching, out in the forest, lots of good energy, good mood, love pouring out of my heart area. And it's not always about euphoric feeling, by the way. I have moments when I cry, but I don't get down for long. It could be half an hour, I realize something, I go really deep down, and then boom, I'm out of it. And that's why I know the stuff that I'm talking about works. And now, and I keep on traveling. I keep on having little money in dribs and drabs. Guys, I don't work. I just do what, like, here, send an email, sometimes phone this one, and I just have enough money for my life, enough to eat. I've been given this flat for free to live in for as long as I want by my sister in Moscow. And it's just, I can't explain it, but everything works out. In the conventional sense, it's a mind fuck because I'm sorry to use that word because it just keeps on coming. Like I was like, I just wrote this email last week, guys. I'm raising $5,000. I thought, maybe you guys could co-invest. I, I'm selling my old village home tomorrow for $5,000, exactly $5,000. I'm flying there tomorrow on Monday. They already prepaid me. It just like this happens. It was there for 3 years. It just boom, here, you need the money here, take it. And it just a miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle because the wish, the feminine inside me wishes, the masculine, the creator, does certain Pareto principle, not 20/80, 1% action, 99% result. It's so precise and book everything happens like that email like this YouTube live I launched 2 months ago Had such like low cash thing. And first of all, I real there's also healing of the programs. That's another. So what I said, why we need God is to heal the programs. I kept on telling everybody, oh, I've got $3 in my account. I had $3 in my account. And I did that for like 25 years, like telling people how much I had in my account. And when it was very little, I especially told everybody. I didn't tell people when it was lots. I told people when it was very, very little. And I really sat down with it like 3 months ago. And I had like $1 in my account. I'm like, why do I do that? Why do I do that? So I asked God, and I'm gonna say the word Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, guys, but we created Christ the way we want him to be, Christ consciousness, okay?
Yeah,
And
I
we
mean,
can,
we're all Christ. Like I'm Christ. I was born on Good Friday and brought home on Sunday. And
yeah,
sorry, I gotta say,
nice. Yeah,
it's just
so
turning into like the Alosha
yeah,
again,
so
for you go on and on and on. You
yeah,
did
yeah,
ask us to share
okay,
as well, and I would like to speak as well instead of just listening to the same thing that I've heard already a lot of times.
yeah. Let
Just
me
to be more.
finish that. So I sat with that, and I figured out why, and I realized that it was the victim in me that was playing out. And that's why I kept on saying that. So as soon as I fixed that, the next day I did a YouTube live. I had only 5 people arrive, and one of them were a client in Portugal, and they paid me $9,000 for a month of my work, and I'm going to build my own home in Portugal. So my own design in on their land in Portugal. So that's how it changed. It just flipped for me, and $9,000 came for a month of work. So just by hitting the program with Christ. Anyway, Keegan, handing over to you.
Cool.
Share from yours.
Cool, thanks. Well, yeah, I mean, what I need now is to build a movement, that allows us to transition into a better way of life, like for our species. And I see that you have this, this impetus and this blueprint to develop that, with the inspirations to and the concepts. uh and I was excited to see somebody sharing in your chat yesterday about the net positive village. That's another big picture concepts, but also down to the actual on the ground building as well. And so I just want to mention that I think that's an exciting connection. If you have the chance to explore, I definitely encourage
I
seeing,
had
because
actually a meeting
especially
with him. I had a meeting with Dirk, but the other day, but like we just got the time misaligned by 1 hour exactly, so it didn't happen. I have one
mm,
concern, just one concern, and it's a pretty major one. They're doing the first one in Peru as an ayahuasca village.
mm,
And it's like locked down at 90 degrees, like a fucking knot in the wrong place. I'm sorry to say, because the thing that I'm talking about is super clean consciousness, which taken me so much work to achieve in the last 1.5 years. The last fucking thing I want to do is have one magic mushroom. It's not that I
mm.
haven't had it. I had lots of mushrooms before. But one magic mushroom, and I have this entire major entity, fungi entity just loads into me, and I am no longer at the wheel of my life.
Uh-huh.
And that's a major problem. That's a
Mm,
major problem. It's so major that we will be talking 5 years later and seeing the devastation results of people thought that they were gonna be this, but it's not that. They thought that we're gonna be all happy and friendly, but it turned out like he was a bastard. And look at Osho's videos. Look at Osho's film on Netflix,
uh,
how Osho was blaming his secretary, and secretary was, everybody was blaming. He like, no. It was one last piece, and I'll hand it back over to you, Keegan. Part of the belief that I adopted, I take full responsibility for my life, including the war in Ukraine, partly when I wished there would be more women, subsequently less men. And I wished for that twice. That's how we create this reality, guys. So anyway, handing over to you, Keegan.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate how your awareness around like the specificity of the way that you express your the power in our words, and I find that to be a commonality, like with the net positive, like with what Dirk is sharing, and this ability to kind of express a vision that we can kind of align around and get super clear about the details of, and I'm engaging with him to learn more about what those details are. Just like I'm here to learn more about what you're envisioning and bringing forth with this, immense gift that you have. So I'm just whatever it takes to actually build the best possible world. And people are happy to be in the status quo until it turns into tyranny in their face, like it did in
Mm,
2020,
mm.
and is starting to happen again. And so when that happens again, more people we're going to be wanting to look for this life that we all want to create, in partnership with nature, and not in under the thumb of the technocratic agenda. So
I
yeah,
see a bit
I'm
of
just excited
technocratic. Yeah, thanks, Keegan. I see about 30% or like if not to give percent, I see about 25 to like a third of technology. Like why? Yeah, it's here and let's use it to our benefit. Maybe 25% in
I
my
wanted to ask
designs.
about being in Russia. Are you able to like use YouTube and broadcast that way now?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I I
yeah,
heard that
yeah.
that they slowed it down.
Um, everything is possible. With VPN, everything is possible.
Mm.
Yeah, so let's have wide strokes today, like thick strokes. So the way that we can create this new community is that we first of all run a few things together with kids and parents. If the parents have no kids, like then we can come and we do stuff together because we got to get to know each other. You know what I mean? And since we are in all over the world, and if you're feeling a pull towards me, ultimately we gotta get to know each other by doing something together. So maybe we can organize a summer camp where an international summer camp. Maybe it won't even be in Russia, or it will be somewhere like South America. And let's say Lena pilots South American location. Keegan, you might be there with her, or you travel back and forth, for example, and we run a, an event together for kids and parents to come and build a few structures. One not super big, super is going to be safe, it's going to be fun, some, evening music around the fire, like everything that we really, really wish. Yeah. And then through and we gotta get to know each other. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. We gotta get to know each other and have everybody, uh, 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 you know, yeah, just get to know each other through action, not just like blah 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 and talk. And talk is very important. Like I gotta get these principles to you. Next time I'll probably record some videos that people can get to and understand what. But and another thing very important, Keegan and team, for this thing to happen is that everybody's got to do what they absolutely love. So that's why I'm actually reaching out to our own community because I know people are somewhat linked to bioarchitecture or permaculture in some way. You know what I mean? Like otherwise, you don't subscribe long ago. So yeah. So even if let's say somebody is not directly linked to bioarchitecture, but they are a school teacher, obviously you can see that's very valuable for going forward. Or music teacher, we can link music to geometry, proportions, and link that to bioarchitecture, for example. So it's not like I'm not an architect, so I can't be part of this. I don't have an architectural degree either, just lots of practice. Anyway, we have A. Who is A?
Hi there. My name is Ari, and I'm originally from the US, but I've been living in Mexico for the last 4 years. Studying Spanish and also quite interested in finding a property here.
Mhm.
I've been looking around all over the country to see which kind of high elevation areas would be most suitable. I've also been doing a lot of inner work, a lot of cleaning up of generational trauma and family issues. And that's kind of been my priority while I look around and find a place where I want to build. But I've been following your work and quite interested in bioarchitecture, also in permaculture. And so I was quite interested to know that you're thinking about Central South America as a possibility for a location for a school,
Mm.
in addition to what you have planned for Russia. And that's why I wanted to tune in today.
Okay, so I've got a contact for you to go visit. Just came to me, Roger Jones. He's in
Mhm.
San Miguel de Allende.
Uh-huh.
Very pretty town. I've been there twice. And he's already got a large piece of land, and he's somebody that I can absolutely, absolutely, absolutely trust. So possibly you want to link up with him and send me an email, not rather WhatsApp, and I can just give you his contact and send him a message and go and visit him. And I'll just chime in on that. Inner work is also my highest priority. Why do I need Christ when I need to heal a certain trauma that I first acknowledge, I see it, I put it right in front of me, I acknowledge that yes, I have this. I don't run away from it anymore. And then I just ask Christ, please heal this. So I say, please witness my stating of will. Then I have a whole meta consciousness listening to me. And then I say, I state my will. I heal this with, I just ask Christ, just please heal it. Just heal it on all my neurological pathways, on my bodies, my chakras, like out of my entire body. Just heal it by your mercy. Just take it away. I thank you. I acknowledge our experience of this trauma from the past and this and that. I name it clearly what it is, and I just ask to heal it. And I believe in my words. If I don't believe in my words, I said, Christ, please increase the belief in my words. If I don't believe in Christ, I say, Christ, please increase my belief in you. So yeah. Anyway, and you can talk to Great Spirit in wherever name comes to you. You know what I mean? Some whatever you're happy with, call it that. As long as you understand, as long as you realize that you're uh, talking to the one. Yeah. It just but there are two aspects. So that, like if you talk to God, God doesn't understand body parts, things that need to be safe and intact. Like I asked once for money from directly from the Great Spirit. And half an hour later, I had a car accident. I had a lorry, huge truck drove in the back of my van. I nearly flew off the highway. It was 12 o'clock at night. Huge dent. The car moving, and the guy just paid me some money and said, okay, well, and that's how I got the money. So, if we talk to Christ, he understands key body parts, One, you know what I mean? So it makes it very safe. If you talk to the Great Spirit, you got to add things like keeping intact my body parts and my wholeness of consciousness. Because, like Steve Hawkins might have asked for something and then his whole body clinched, but he got what he wanted, for example, the genius and everybody leaving him alone, for example. I don't know what he asked. I'm just saying. Another belief, Lena, another belief that another important piece. Your wishes is already in your life. Everything you see around in your life is already your wishes executed. So if you don't know what you believe in, look around in your life and you'll understand what you believe in. Because yeah, and there is a thing called count of wishes. They're also wishes, but they just are the opposite and the pull in the opposite direction. So it's important to heal those, and we heal those also with Christ. Anyway, do you want to add anything else about Mexico? Yeah, Mexico is a good location, guys. It's amazing. If we can find a piece of land there, and let's start a bioarchitecture a whole thing there. Let's do it. I'll come. I mean, I'll come. I'll come and start it
Sure,
together with you
I'm
guys.
sure it would line right up. Like if you go to like the Greater Reset, like I know you presented to the one that I went to from distance, digitally. But it would be super cool if you felt like
Yeah,
going there.
I just feel like we gotta start our thing fresh. And why we gotta start our thing fresh is because maybe if they can just I don't know. Maybe it can be part of a greater reset community if they already have a community, but it's got to be our own piece of land that belongs to us, and we can not be
Oh
ran
yeah,
by the
I just
laws
meant like
because yeah.
finding the right place through the event through because there's the event. I think it's in
Yeah, yeah.
January.
Look, there's a
Um,
lot of landowners who would love to have us over there, but that also what you're doing with the healing of the trauma is very, very important because if we don't heal that stuff, if you want, I can help you. By the way, if we can have a separate call, and I'll gladly help you. And if you want to gift something afterwards, you can. If you don't, I'll gladly help you anyway in the way that I can to heal some of those things that you are just will if you're will spinning. If it's not moving through, just reach out and I'm anybody on YouTube who I don't think there's anybody on YouTube right now. Because it didn't launch on YouTube because I didn't have my VPN on. Anyway, um any of you guys who are watching in the recording, if you need assistance, yeah. But my questions are gonna be hardcore. The first question, if you have some issue in your life, I'm going to ask you, why do you want that issue in your life? So the first question, and people are like, no, I broke my leg because, like that person said, he broke his leg because it was God's wish that he could slow down. No, 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 no. Don't bring God into this. It's got nothing to do with you wanted to break your leg. No, it's a misfortune. And I'm like, okay, at this point, our conversation ends. Things like, remember, full responsibility on your life for you, on you. Everything. I broke my knee because I wanted my mom to sit with me in the hospital at 37. End of story, because I didn't have that thing healed from the childhood. When I was young, she was busy, she never gave me attention. I would just cry alone. And then when I got flu, mom was near with jam, with stories, with hugging, with cuddling, with lying with me in bed. And spoke in my neurons, there was you know what I mean? Lena, you understand what I'm saying? So that's how it works. So anyway,
yeah.
I'd gladly help to anybody. So why we say we should be doing our own thing, unless people are so aligned with what we want, but we gotta like we got I don't know. I don't have all the answers, guys. Another thing, Lena and everybody, that's important to mention was this new belief. Very important, the most important. I opened up internal dialogue with my highest potential. It starts with, as minimum, for the very bare minimum, with a yes, expansion, yawning, yes, yes, and no, contraction. It's the very least you gotta switch on. Your head might say, yes, that guy, I should go and meet him. He's got land. And you go put your right hand here and you do a foresight. Like when you change lanes in the car, you look in the mirror. You don't just hit somebody and then like, what happened? You know what I mean? So you do the same thing. You not visualize, you just see yourself going to that person who invited you or whatever to an evening or to whatever, any situation. Food. I go stand in a shop and I point at food like this. And I have a resonance, I take it. The highest potential guys knows into forever into the future. The head can only figure out one or two steps forward. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your head might say, eat it, nice, or go there, nice, it will be good. You put your hand on the heart, and the heart says, don't. So you have yes, you have a no, absolutely no, and you have a neutral. Like neutral and no, I'm not interested. I'm either getting this expansive feeling, otherwise I'm not interested. That's another thing I installed, and I can help anybody install that. But anyway, Ambrose, do you want to share? And your phone, could you're not you need to turn the camera over because you're some for some reason. Yes, brother, thank you. And
To find a stable place.
and Ambrose, I know you're still coming to my workshop. Don't worry. We just didn't do it this year, and I'm really sorry about it, but you are coming.
Yeah,
All your fans are there. In fact, you'll even have a discount when you come. So don't worry.
yeah. Don't worry about that. Yeah. I what I need is basically what everyone needs a peaceful place where one can work, create, and share stuff, knowledge, uh, everything. Yeah, obviously, interested in bioarchitecture. Bioarchitecture. I'm electrician by profession, so uh, this is um, this works well together, I guess. And it's like my uh, favorite thing to do is like off-grid systems things, and I've already done a few, and I want to improve that. Right now, I'm in Uruguay, in the final stages of my Uruguay visit,
Mhm.
and just around the corner there's a Earthship building, um, by Mike Reynolds. Obviously, it's a school, like for little children, and
Oh.
I visited that. I wrote a message to them, and hey, I'm in the area, and I want to see I would like to see this building. And then I went there like before school, like in the morning, and they showed me around, and it's the first time seeing one in live, basically, not on YouTube, and that was quite the experience. And this is for me the way to go. But also, um, I resonate more with your approach, with like the sacred geometry and the material stuff, like airships being built out of garbage, basically, which is fantastic on the one side, but like energetic, not quite um, perfect. I would say so to uh, learn and develop my skills in this direction. Basically, that's my goal here.
Okay. Okay. So that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so the tires, talk about the tires. Let me just chime in on you. So the whole thing is made out of Hyper Adobe, and I got a really fast way of doing it. Or uh but we're moving towards a 3D printer, obviously. So Hyper Adobe is the same method as 3D printer. And foundation, yeah, I believe tires is the way to go. Here they are. 2 rows of tires will help Mother Earth, very important, and it's a free foundation that like is really, 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 really good. Really, really good. I removed it from the front because I wanted more space for the wetland because they were eating up too much wetland space. So this is what I'm designing. So this is Ambrose. The reason we didn't build this is because I didn't have this blueprint, and now you know, it's all here. It's all here. I mean, it's all switched off now, but there's furniture, there is burial. The burial has what insulation, isoform. It has a first hydro brake, plastic second hydro brake, and it's got obviously a burial itself. Uh, Main room, front face wall, greenhouse. There it is. So what we're doing is water tanks, windows, and of course aircrete dome in the back. two domes in the back. So this is my signature Earth ship that I've been working on. Um, yeah, and then of course the timber roof, which has got ton of layers itself. So Ambros, so you understand why it's only now, it's only this is what I'm going to be building, one in Portugal in March, and roof sheets, beams, insulation, board. Uh, yeah, so there's quite a few layers. Anyway, so back to uh, so I'm very real at the same time about practicality of things, down to the one last millimeter as much as possible. But at the same time, seeing the vision a couple of 100 years forward, how it's going to spring to life. So we've got to start with, yeah, two locations. Let's coordinate, who wants to be in the South America, like that area, just collaborate. Let's start having meetings. Let's find the land. I'll speak to Roger again, hand you the number, and yeah, let's fast track it. But at the same time, we got to wish. We see in quantum physics, as soon as you work through your counter wishes, counter opposite wishes. In quantum physics, there's no time. Instantly, the wave collapses into a particle. Do you understand what I'm saying? As soon as I worked through all the fears and all the things why I couldn't connect with the mother of my son, because she just had me banned and I wasn't able to get through to her. As soon as I worked through all of that, healed it, prayed about it, not just prayed about it like God help, but prayed to heal the fears and the programs and the things that I was like
It's a question
sorrow.
of identity, isn't it?
Hey?
It's a question of identity. Like, in order for a sprout to be born, a seed has to die. And so we have to actually watch the death of who we are now in order to become who we are
Yeah,
next.
actually, it's a very interesting. I've got an Osho deck of cards, and I take one card per day. And I had this card of past lives, clinging onto past. So it came up this morning and yesterday's, twice in a row. So yes, another belief, Lena, and I'm saying Lena because back to that conversation is we raise past completely every day. Every morning, wake up. I don't want to know what happened. I'm not interested in the past. I'm constantly creating myself anew. Remember that other quantum physics experiment with the Schroeder cat? Um, based on
Schrödinger.
based on the observer, the cat is either dead or alive. So if I, as an observer, just I take the past as like all that experience is in me, but I'm like a consciously clean slate every day. And then wake up anew, even if I had like a terrible day yesterday or it was just really difficult, I wake up and I refresh every day and I kickstart a whole new day, which can be absolutely anything. And by not clinging onto that yesterday and like, oh, that person did that or whatever, I'm like always in the present, always recreating myself in the present in the way that I want. It's so, yeah. Yeah, I can't explain. I can't. I can't explain it. But it's literally erasing the past consciously. I erased all like that doesn't serve me. That just is a baggage. Take it out of my consciousness right now, and I'm born anew every day. But at the end of the day, you guys got to feel it because if you're not feeling it, what I'm talking about is just words. So we are talking about a reality that's feeling. Yes, Lena. And I propose that at the end, who wants to stay, we do a little prayer so you can just feel what I'm talking about because we're talking about a heart source energy starting to spread from here through your whole body, and should feel like you should feel something straight after the prayer, or when you switch off the losses of energy, like leaks. You got to switch off the leaks. That's another thing, very important. But yes, Lena, handing over to you.
Thanks, Alessi, and thanks everyone for your sharing. It's been really great to connect. I'm going to hop off the call now. I've got some stuff to do this evening, but I'm definitely keen and I'll follow the updates and the chat, and really look forward to perhaps even coming by in the summer next year or whenever that's happening. So it's
Okay.
really exciting, and yeah, thank you all so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, come with your partner to Siberia. Oh, but I'll message her. I'll message her. So you guys are absolutely adamant on a south location. You want something warm. If we create two locations, we could travel between locations. That's another thing. That's really, really cool because I don't want to sit at one place constantly. I'm not that type of person. Keegan, I think you also have a bee in your bonnet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
about being mobile. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Okay. So should we just do a prayer and how does everybody feel about it?
I love it. Yeah.
You do you.
Now, I've translated this prayer word by word. So close your eyes, take a deep inhale, exhale through your mouth. So you can repeat after me with your lips or inside yourself if you feel the calling or you resonate with the words. If you don't resonate, don't repeat. Everything is done by the free will. Okay, inhale, exhale with your mouth open. So ask the Christ to speak through me. Иисус Христос, Дух мой, говори мною, Матушка Богородица, говори мною, будь с нами. Now ask all saints to be here. Все духовные святые приглашаю вас здесь. I ask the feminine aspect of God, the Mother Mary and or Mother Earth or the Great Mother to be here. And I ask for all angels and archangels to be here with us to witness this prayer. And I'm saying it in Russian because it's obviously linked with me. You know, I resonate with that. But I'm just saying to you what am I whispering with my lips so um, so you hear what I'm calling. So angels, archangels, the feminine aspect, the Great Mother, and of course the Source. The Great Spirit, the Source, Creator, be with us in this prayer. Okay, so with that, so we have a whole array of creative source energy and aspects of God Creator are witnessing this prayer right now. Okay, so it's not just me speaking, we have the whole uh, uh, power pack will be an undermining it, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's go. By the strength given me from the source, by my will, right hand on your heart, by the way. Inhale. By the wish of my soul, I open my heart for love. And you can go with your nails and just do this with your heart area, just expanding. Yeah. I open my heart for love. Visualize a little light of energy expanding from your spiritual heart, just spreading out. Inhale. Exhale with your mouth open. I discover in my heart the eternal source of life and my everlasting, inviolable connection with it. Inhale. I'm being filled up with love, light, and life itself from my inner source that's within my heart as a projection and a continuation of our integral, vivifying source within me. Inhale. The frequency within my body awakens and rises higher and higher, and I feel lightness within my body. Inhale. So you just keep on inhaling and exhaling with your mouth open, so I don't have to repeat that. I'll start to feel inspiration, infusion, and a serene joy for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I just feel this everlasting life within. My vibrations and frequency are rising higher and higher. My external form fine tunes in agreement with my inner essence in my appropriate tempo. I start to remember about my godly origin from our eternal singularity source and my divine purpose for this life. I accept myself totally for that who I already am. All that is not there for me and does not align with my highest purpose, with deep gratitude, I release into the source. With gratitude, I let go of all that is not part of me, all that is foreign. I thank it for our mutually beneficial experience. And I let go of it completely, sending it into the source. I do not fight against it. I do not try to redo alter myself. I simply let go of all that is not in resonance with me right now. I end old contracts, pacts, obligations that connected me to other creatures, people, substances, egregors, images, gods. I return myself my full freedom. My freedom to be myself. If you feel like yawning, just yawn. Oh, I feel it's starting to shift right now. It's neurons are rewiring. I claim and return my entire whole soul, all of my life force, all of my will and strength of the Creator. And all that does not belong to me, I release with gratitude. I let all these entities and energies go back to the source and their owners. Can I exhale all the air? Exhale. Shh. Hold. As I inhale, I breathe in from my spirit. Inhale deeply from my holy divine spirit. Another one. Nice inhale. Big. I rebuild and recreate my inner unity and wholeness, wholesomeness. I forgive myself for everything. Within the spirit of truth, the spirit of love, power, and chastity, in the Holy Spirit of the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ, I transform and quantum leap to a higher level of reality right now. I claim and become aware of my divine path, my divine essence, my divine game that I came here to play. I bravely and wholeheartedly open up to it. I bravely and with gratitude accept my path that my Father and Lord Jesus Christ opens up within me. I forgive myself for everything and I forgive all the people who have contacted me in any time in the past. I forgive them for everything. I love and accept our perfection within me and our world and in all the people that is the perfect creation of God. I realize and become aware of who I am, the way that I am in my perfection and wholeness. I honor and thank myself for my path, and I bless and thank my path for myself. I thank you, Mother Planet, the Great Mother, for your wonderful gifts, which you abundantly provide, my physical reality and my material body. I thank you, our Father, and our Lord Jesus Christ, our single life giving source for all forms of love, energy of life, which you fill us every moment in time. And I thank myself for this choice to be myself, to be in unity with God, the planet. I thank myself to be the life itself in my unique human body. I choose love. I choose unity. I choose to agree in harmony with all that is. I choose life-giving strength and choose eternal life within my unique human body and my ability to choose any form at any moment of my life. The divine games and my mission, which I freely accept to be myself, playing my divine game of life. I accept my true essence. I forgive myself for everything. I thank myself for all that I have or haven't done, and let it be so. I bless myself. Amen. Now you can repeat these words after me. It means I am in Russian, but there's three levels. The level of physical body, я есть. I will repeat them afterwards again. Я есмь is the bridge that connects me to the spirit, and аз есмь, the divine presence in me. So, я есть, you can just repeat, я есть тот, та, for a woman, та, or for men, тот. Я есть тот, та, кто я есть. I am the who I am. Я есть тот, or та, who I, I'm getting confused. Я есть тот, кто я есть. Я есмь, я есмь, аз есмь, аз есмь, аз есмь love. As Yezim, great spirit in my unique human body. As Yezim, that who as Yezim. And we are one. We are a unified whole. We're one rainbow of life. Let it be so in the now and the ever present and always forever into the future. Amen. Iba Любовь means for love. Iba Любовь. I mean, take a deep inhale. Okay. Who's feeling a difference? What are you feeling, Keegan?
Just it's great expansions, beautiful words. It gives me a sense of being sure and confident, like reassured. Mm. And I'm curious also, what was the different three levels? Can you say those one more time?
I'll do that. I just want Ambrose to share what he's feeling. Ambrose, what are you feeling, brother?
Curiosity.
Did you feel something after the prayer?
Mm, yeah, the air going into my lungs and out of my lungs, and like this sense of relief somehow.
Mm, mm. Our witnesses. Thank you. For those of you who will be watching in the recording, if you haven't felt anything, there's a possibility that your spirit is traded off. How does our spirit trade off and leave? You do a thing that you don't like, that's not part of your destiny for too long, your spirit gives you two fingers. And then a spirit, no, soul, not the spirit. Sorry, guys, soul. To clarity's sake, soul is an organ in the body. Besides all the other things it is, soul is an organ in the body. Starts at this area, but spreads out beyond, obviously. But starts here. That's responsible for feeling. We have in Russian a saying, "Жить по душе," live by the soul. It's very important. So if you're not feeling anything, that means that the soul is gone, literally gone. And you can ask for it to come back. And that's another third reason why we need God. To get the soul back without God, you can register website taftiti.com. Yeah. Anyway, Keegan, you're feeling it. You're on. Yeah. I'm feeling such expansion, guys. I felt that prayer. It's still going. Oh, let's just give gratitude. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Mother Mary, the feminine aspect, the Great Mother, the singular mother. Thank you, angels and archangels. Thank you, all ascended masters and all saints. Thank you for witnessing and being with us through this call. So, guys, this is how we're going to create this community. Without this, I'm sorry to say, it's not ain't gonna work. And if it's without if it's ayahuasca or something else except for this, what you're feeling right now, I'm not interested. It's not with me. You can do it with others and whoever, but and you got to live that experience, obviously. And I'm not gonna. We're not about fear. Oh, by the way, another thing, gone fear, all fear, gone, 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 gone completely. I've managed to eradicate it in me. Before that, I was 1.5 years ago, it was the same as everybody else. World Order, Illuminati, reptiloids, uh, and the story is so long. And we got to understand that it's intruded, implanted in us from external, and that's another reason we need God to heal the fear because it's so fucking deep in us. I'm sorry to use that word. It's really deep. Anyway, Keegan, there's three sayings, three yeah yes. I am physical. Yeah. Just so when you like a little shaky and you like don't know where you can just say yeah yes. Yeah yes. If you're a man, yeah yes, tot. Кто я есть, because in Russian, the whom word has a feminine and a masculine. Я есть тот, T-O-T. Я is Y-A, есть, E-S-T, with a soft thing at the end. Я есть тот, кто я есть. For woman, та. Я есть та, T-A. Кто я есть. KTO. Кто я есть. Я есть то, кто я есть. Я есть та, кто я есть. Just keep on repeating that. Your ancient DNA will remember it. Russian language, very, 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 very powerful. Very powerful. I highly recommend that you start learning Russian if you wanna. I don't know if you really. I don't know. Like I'd recommend it. Because language is like your whole brain will reform it, but it's another conversation. And yeah, besides the fact that Russia is one of the freest country, but this freedom is inside your heart. If you have freedom here, you'll be free everywhere you go. Um, the bridge, Keegan, is, and for everybody else, Я езим, Я езим. So it's got ESM with a soft thing at the end. Я езим. Я езим тот, just repeat right now. Я езим тот, кто, KTO, кто я езим. Just repeat that. Я езим тот, кто я езим. Я езим тот, кто я езим. And the last one is аз езим. Аз езим. It's your, in you, I am. It all means I am. But there's three aspects of it. And this I am is your godly self. Not this, я езим is the bridge. Я есть is physical body. And аз езим is the God itself. So аз езим тот, кто аз езим. I am who I am, but in a godly aspect. I am a favorite child of God. Just keep on repeating that. Every time I have a fear thought, I'm just like, God, please take it out of me. I accept this fear. I thank it. I thank you, the fear, for being with me and all entities that have been milking me on this fear. So, guys, it's the matrix. The fears have been implanted in us, so these pseudo gods can milk us for our energy. Matrix fully exists, but it's not in a way that you even think like it's the government's doing something. They're all being milked as well. We all have been milked and being milked massively right now for our energy, for our energy when we have the fear, when we express fear, when we express deep anger. And I'm not saying I don't get angry, but I'd rather swear Keegan once than go and like hit somebody. You know what I mean? So if I have something building up, I'll voice it out, like, voice it out and then, move on. Not like smile, everything is fine, thanks, and so, So it's about being alive, you know, uh, very alive. So to stop the milking process, that's another thing. We need God and we need true God. Uh, how do you know it's true? It expands life. That feeling that you felt during this prayer, that's that expansion of life is the only indication. It expands life and it doesn't want anything back from you. And it's definitely without ayahuasca mushrooms.
That's super great. Not having fear, although I would recommend maybe having a healthy dose of the fear of heights.
Oh, no, no, of course, Keegan, we're not talking about like those kind of things. We're talking about, no, the natural fears, like the natural fight or flight when the tiger's there, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But we're talking about the fear that people are constantly living in when there is no tiger. Of course, we're talking about those fears. It's this, it's this high-strung tension. Yeah, it's that stuff. So living in total, like, man, like it's all good. I have food. I might, times I had no money for tomorrow and I'm like, but I have enough today to eat. And if I can go without food for 7 days easily. 1 kilogram of buckwheat costs $1. You can eat it for 5 days, by the way. And knowing that already, but it never got to that. It got that once or twice. I got to that once where I had a little bit of buckwheat, but it wasn't even like, oh man, I mean, it's so boom eating that buckwheat because I used to be like that 5 years, 6 years ago. I would fear eating buckwheat because it's like the poor man's food, and I'm like, I'm too freaking cool for that, and
But
it's like, no.
they're shaped like little tetrahedrons.
Yeah, yeah. But now, if with that time that I emptied out was cash, I had that buckwheat. I was just enjoying it. I had some sunflower, good smelly oil, nice one, and I had this buckwheat, and I was just like, oh, I have food today. And every time I get so like a bit, I just start being gratitude because I have two hands, I have two legs, I have a flat that I can live in. Nobody's chasing me for as long as I want. I'm warm. There's central heating. Just for that, like I hugged a tree to that big tree. I actually hugged 14 trees. It's so weird. Seven and seven giants. 7 and 7 giants. 14 in one line, but seven and just next to them another seven. It's very strange. So I touched every single one and a few I hugged of them, but I touched all 14 today. So I'm weird. I'm weird, but how I know the stuff I'm talking about is true because I feel so good most of the time. I really, really, really do. And I never used to be like that. I lived with such depression and panic attacks for years. And I was doing mushrooms, I was doing weed, and I was doing everything thinking that, it's going to get better, but it just got worse. The weed just made me so stupid. I got lost in my own city that I lived for 25 years. Every time I smoked, I got lost. You know what I mean? It's like it just wipes out your brain. You know what I mean? So no, and then anger. Oof, I would hit my dog like I'd be so. And I don't want to go into that, but shit happened. Uh, because you suppress feelings. I suppressed feelings. See, I'm linking to myself. And I also said it in the past. I don't want to upload my past into the present, so I say it like it happened because it did happen in the past. So don't, it's very important. So yeah, the suppressed feelings was weed, and then I'd be so angry. That's how, by the way, it destroyed my relationship with my son. Not with weed, but another program, a competition. When we would play a game, and my son would start being happy, and when his happiness reached over mine, I'd have like a beast in me, and I'd emotionally attack him so he could go down, and I could, you know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
fucked it up so bad that we haven't been speaking for 5 years. He doesn't want to hear me. All I can do, Keegan and friends, I can just work on myself. I can just work on myself. And I just had a first breakthrough. 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with his mom for an hour and a half. And since then, we've been sending messages back and forth almost daily. So the other reason I'm talking, I know this thing that works that I'm talking about, this new belief that I've been sharing with you, is because it's realizing on physical realm, not in a way that you know. $5,000 have been upgraded into my account from the sale of this old village home, which I bought 4 years ago. I never lived in it, and I just sold it for exactly that amount. And I'm flying next week to buy that land in Siberia, which I'm gonna land by architecture, which I'm Ambros, finally you can come and we're gonna build a house on the land. And it won't be my home, it will be a first building for the academy. We're building the first, this Earthship hybrid that I've been showing you is the first building for academy. In fact, in the greenhouse, uh, I don't think I'm gonna have a walkway. I'll have some, I want to have, I want to have a thin walkway along this bag and a little bridge to go over, and I want this whole thing. I want either to be a prawn farm or I want a whole pool that one could swim in, and the wetland will be the plants for the pool. So there will be no walkway. There'll be a walkway on the thin, and the whole greenhouse will be a pool to swim because here we're going to have a sauna. Oh, wait, I haven't shown you the most important part. Guys, why is it taking me so long? It's this thing. Mm, uh, is the heating. I've developed a very intricate system. Uh, Gosh, where is it? Can't find it. Hmm. Yes, by the way, it's designed by Vastu.
Ah, you are on YouTube.
Oh, wow. Okay, I can't find it. Anyway, so I've got all these channels that uh, huh. Anyway, yeah, I must have by mistake deleted that layer, but I'll go to get to a backup. I have all these channels that basically send warm air under the floor and cold air in summer from underground, also under the floor. And in this berm, I have this massive. Uh, oh, there it is. Oh, it's in the foundation. Yeah, there it is. Can you see all these channels? So we're going to have a fireplace in here from outside that can take big logs. I haven't drawn it like 3 foot long logs, and that's going to stoke a sauna. That might be challenging with these tires. I might remove these tires all the way from here and extend it with hyper. Not might, will definitely because they'll melt. Um, and that basically goes up through these channels, these two, one, two, swirls around these thin walls. I'm still gonna beef them up, and goes back one out through this hole, fire, and one out through this hole, fire. Okay, let me switch off the burial so you can see what happens on the other side. Uh, So what happens on the other side, I have this obviously this cement slab that's going to get very hot. Uh, and then off there, I'm going to have a snaking heat exchangers that's going to go into these three coils, these yellow coils. They're going to heat up and they're going to circulate around and around. And then this is now not so hot. This is all soil. It's going to be covered in soil. And these are other heat exchangers that you can buy off the shelf here in Russia. They're used for wells, so they're not very expensive. They're plastic ones. So obviously the heat is going to be very hot in these channels. This is going to be all mass, earth, you remember? Uh, so there we go. So that's going to be keeping the heat from expand. So basically, the main thing that I'm trying to explain, the typical Earth ship hits that back wall, yeah, and then that wall by radiation radiance moves the heat into the berm. Yeah. Yes, Keegan. Yes. What we're doing, we're forcing the heat into the berm because there's less sun here. It's not Taos. It's not Taos with mild winters, and it's minus 50 Fahrenheit and minus 40 Fahrenheit. So that's
Can
why
I,
I'm doing all
can I
this.
ask you about like that climate? I mean, like, my parents have a place in Joshua Tree, so it's quite near Cal Earth. Uh,
Mm.
what can you do as far as, because isn't it a problem with these Earthship designs that it becomes roasting hot in the summertime in some of these
Oh
places?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You gotta. We'll do a separate call about this. Let's chat about what's Hilarium in details. But basically, what I've seen when I was at Cal Earth and Joshua Tree, they had this trough. This is now for super hot climates. They had this trough. You know the Earth Dome, the Earth Dome one, or what is it called? I have I have. It's the final design of Nader Khalili. It's got a long like a tube on one side. Let me find it. Cal Earth Dome. It's got a specific dome. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, let me share the screen. Now, what I've seen in that dome, yeah, this one. Yeah. So this is the final design of Nader Khalili before he passed away. That chute, that thing, at the bottom of that was a trough with water, and many sheets were hanging, and the water would wick up the sheets. The air would come flying through this top area, or the bottom, depends if the wind came into it, it would come in and would circle through, and if the wind would go from the other way, it would suck it out. Anyway, the air would go through these sheets, many sheets, and cold air would come out into the home and cool it down passively. What they did in South Africa is another cooling technique, is a double wall of chicken wire mesh, yeah, like this far apart, and charcoal between them, and water dripping. And charcoal is got evaporative cooling like insane because it's very porous, very porous. And they built fridges like that in South Africa 200 years ago. I couldn't find anything on it on the internet, but I've seen one of those. The guy was explaining to me. And it's super cold inside. That's how they kept meat cold and everything above ground.
That's
Now,
interesting.
and obviously, sorry, Keegan, obviously there's a root cellar, but depends on the temperature of your earth. If your earth is warm, which could be, in Joshua tree, then root cell is obviously a waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I wanted to ask about like because it gets quite cold there in the wintertime. Um, obviously nothing like Russia, but it's a cold climate in the winter. Um, and so what can you do as far as if you want to be growing indoors through the winter, and then what can you do during the summertime with that space to make sure it's not roasting hot? Like, um,
Mm, okay.
house,
What
like,
what what can you do in summertime so it's not roasting hot?
I mean, do they just have to cover all the glass? Like, or
The Earth ship is look covering the glass on the inside is also a waste of time because the heat already comes in. So you got to have these shade awnings. The Earth ship is not designed for Joshua Tree. It must be a different design. There's no such thing as one house meets it all.
yeah.
Even in my design, as much as I'd love to sell it to my blueprint to many Americans, because most of my, obviously for hot climate, we're not going to have this heating element and all that stuff in the front. But that greenhouse has got to have a shade awning that basically, if you look at my hands, can cover it from outside, shade cloth or something that can cover it that doesn't allow. You don't need this shape house in the Joshua tree. End of story. It's something a bit different that needs to be designed for there. But if you go with a shape house, then you know, then you gotta have something that from outside doesn't allow the sunlight to come in. Um, like in Brazil, the houses are like, you know, it's got a set like a contour and then a big balcony all around, creating like a 6 foot awning all around, and the sunlight does not get into those. Same in South Africa, those thatch roofs, the grass roofs, they make sure that the summer sun cannot get into the house at all. It hits it on, and that in Johannesburg was very chilly in summer, very chilly in summer. No insulation in the floor. So the temperature of the ground temperature, which was nice and chilly, came in and the house was super comfortable in summer. But in winter, it was terrible. In South Africa, terrible. Freezing. The floor is freaking freezing. And electrical heating could be very pricey. But what I would do there, I would send some water pipes. I'm just thinking, water or air pipes, because lots of sunlight, you can pump that hot water or hot air underneath the floor and get that floor nice and warm easily. Another simple strategy would be, you know, that polycarbonate on the outside on the sunny wall. Cold air exits from the bottom, just like a thin wall, yeah, right next to it. Exits out, it's painted black, polycarbonate in front. Cold air from the bottom at the floor area comes out, raises super fast because hot air rises, and comes back in hot air and circulates like that. And that's how you get hot air. But very important to understand that hot air is not the same as warm mass. Let me give you an example. I didn't insulate my floor in Russia, in St. Petersburg, in that Gothic arch that I built. By the way, subsequently, I've redid the design and there's a new one with all the layers. I'll show it you. So I've got a blueprint of it, by the way. I made so many mistakes and I went in and then I actually designed a blueprint with all the layers. There's the insulation there, you can see. I mean, there's 12 sheets. Anyway, so I redesigned this home based on 200 square foot, but 2.5 stories up. Um, and I didn't insulate the floor because I was going to do something very interesting. Uh, I'll try and explain. Uh, the very interesting thing I wanted to do, and it has been tested many times here by this one blogger, Russian guy. Okay, picture this. The tube in the ground, let's say 30 meters, about 2 meters deep, 6 foot deep, 90 foot long. Okay, so geothermal tube, not down, like not too deep, only 6 foot. Okay. Now picture that you have minus 30 Fahrenheit air outside. So opening windows would be just losing a lot of warmth. Okay. The air comes in, preheats itself to the ground temperature, which is +4 Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's like it's much warmer than minus 30 Fahrenheit. So minus 20 Celsius and +4 Celsius by it just going through the tube. It enters into a rocket like a mass couch, okay, but through just some holes, like a stove couch, yeah, like a masonry stove, but it enters through the holes. The masonry stove is already warm. If we're talking about a heating system, so that air is already preheated by the tube, yeah, and then it just gets a little bit extra and it enters the house nice and comfortable, +20 Celsius or higher, yeah, but not into the chamber, combustion chamber. Then that hot air obviously rises, providing your chimney, your burning fuel. The hot air rises from the top of the ceiling where it's the hottest and uncomfortable. It sucks underneath the floor through a gap that you leave all around and timber floor and goes underneath the timber floor, dries up the timber floor, makes it nice and warm, and goes underneath the timber floor into the combustion chamber from under the floor. And then it burns and then it exits out into the cosmos. So this is a system I wanted to install, and that's why I didn't insulate the flooring from the ground. So for warm climate, it's good. For cold climate, it was really so. To go back to what I was saying, hot air and warm mass is not the same. Same as cold air of air conditioning and freaking hot walls is not the same. Mass, when it cools down or when it heats up, will transfer that to your body because your body is also mass, Keegan, yeah? So even if you're plummeting the aircon full blast, but your walls are like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, you're gonna feel very uncomfortable inside. Do you know what I'm talking about? Same as in the super cold floor that I had in my St. Petersburg home, my feet would get so cold, but my air temperature on a what is it, the gauge, perfect, plus 22 Celsius. It's like super comfy. I don't know what it's called, 70 Fahrenheit, like 60, 70 Fahrenheit, like super comfy, supposed to be. My air temperature is perfect, but my feet are freaking cold. That's what it means by the mass, heating up the mass. So you gotta design a home that, like in hot climate, does not overheat that mass, but in wintertime heats that mass. So your overhang has got to get that winter sun that it can hit on your super Adobe, for example, hyper Adobe. But in summertime, you're protected from that. There's two bloggers on internet. Do you know they build like an egg dome, giant egg dome in the desert? I'm sure you've seen them. A man, husband, and wife. Not with the red bags, not the other couple. Anyway, they were baking in that dome, and the builder had to build a little roof all around. And that roof wasn't enough. They were baking. That mass got so hot in the desert they didn't know what to do with themselves. So anyway, it's a separate question, but it's a very important one. We've got to design according to the sun angles. Yeah, I will do tweaks to this design of mine for hot climate because it's important for me to figure it out. But like, it will definitely involve some heavy duty shade. It probably will be a different design. You can't, as much as I'd love to say, hey guys, because there'll be like people will support me from America by ordering the blueprints of this. But man, you
It's
need
the
to be
same in
safe.
Portugal. Like it can be pretty cold in the wintertime there and then get really hot in the summer.
Yeah, so we've got to have a big shade awning. We've got to have something here that can open up. I'll design it. I'll actually think about it because Portugal can also get very hot in in uh in summer. Anyway, let's not load on that, but it's very important conversations and yeah, I'd love to. So, friends who is watching on YouTube, please check out my website, bioveda.co, and you can pre-order the blueprint of this home design. It will be ready by the end of November because I've been on it working for a whole year, and it's really coming to get. Uh, so I'm sending a link for this blueprint and we want to do and we want to start doing kids and parents projects. What do you guys think of that, by the way, Keegan?
I
Doing
love it.
kid and mom projects together.
I love it. And I love what you shared about mom land and dad land in today. That's interesting.
It's also where couples could meet that you know, yeah, exactly.
Cool. Thank you so much. I gotta hop off. It's getting really late where I
Yeah,
am.
let's do it. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Many blessings.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, friends. Thank you so much.